Justin said late. I say yes, yes. I'm late. I'm late. I'm running late. We got customers. Roscoe said hello. Hello, Roscoe. Yeah, we've had several customers today, and we are running a little bit behind. We're on um, right before the live. We had a tow truck come pulling in. Somebody had a brand new, didn't even have 1,000 miles on the car. Had to have it towed over here. Roscoe said, "God bless the USA." Lotus said, "Yo." Maria says, "Lord, I just sent a message." Justin said, "That's a good excuse, I guess." Maria said, "I thought you died." Nope, y'all can't get that lucky. Daniel said, "Happy Saturday. What's up, guys?" Roscoe, "Busy Saturday. Good for you guys. Brand new cars." Sheesh. Yeah, it is good that we're busy because we were busy all day, but the downfall is we didn't get to work on the trailer at all. So hopefully we'll get to do that tomorrow. John Deere says, "Hi, everyone." Hello. Or everybody, sorry. Was a nice day, so I'm not complaining. Lotus said, "Hi, Maria." Five people, 6 thumbs up. Woo! I did not get to catch my breath. We need a few more, about 3 more weeks to work like that. Let's see. Maria says, "I'm eating a chicken." I'm eating a pig. I got a sausage sandwich here. Lotus said, "Hi, John." Maria said, "Unfortunately, not our chicken." Man, you sure ate those chickens, don't you? Lotus said, "I ordered a pizza, Papa John's." Justin said, "Better have a fish in 2 weeks. Cameron is finally making time for us." Awesome. Maria said, "What's that behind you? What's what?" On the desk, enjoy your sandwich. I only like tomato sandwiches. I wish I liked tomato sandwiches. People make them look good. Are you talking about that wooden thing just right above my head? It's some type of a game Justin had in the back of the truck. I think you gotta. It's just there. He says, "Hi and hello. You look very nice with your glasses." Oh my gosh, it's freaking hot in California. Gosh. Maria says, "Well, thank you." It's kind of a game. You're supposed to, I guess, latch it on like that. You know, you're supposed to swing it and latch it. But Justin had it in the back of the truck. Randy cleaned the truck out, and there it sits. I wished it was, I'll take the heat. I can't stand the cold. I'm about ready to come out of this long sleeve. I know that. Maria said, "Okay." Weber said, "My O2 sensor went bad on my 2016 Ford Escape Titanium 2.0 EcoBoost, so 1 gen. It's going to be a bitch to get out." It shouldn't be too bad. Well, unless you can't move in there, that might be. David said, "It looks to me like you cleaned up the back dresser a little bit." Yeah, I believe Randy picked up a little bit. Just explain the game again. Well, I really don't know. It was your game. I think you're supposed to just drop it and try to catch it on, but I don't know. It was just in the back of the truck you were driving. Weber said hello. VO said hi, hello. Just said it's called Hooker. I won it at a high school on Dirty Santa thing. Oh, okay. Then you hook it, I guess. That's why it's called Hooker. David said, what are those jars? A bunch of snacks? Yeah, the ones Ford High or Skittles. The one over on this side is dog snacks. Jane said, hey, oh, hi, Pops. Hello, Jane. Sleepy says, got a pretty mouth, boy. Well, thank you. It's a crying shame we got people like you coming in and saying stupid shit, but thank you for your comment. Boston Bill said, hi, guys. Always a pleasure. Have a great Saturday night. You too, Boston. Thank you for stopping in. Jane said, hi, Lotus. Maria said, are you sure it's just a game? It looks like a torture tool. Believe me, Maria, it's just a game. Jane said, hi, Maria. Hi, Justin. And hi, Bill. Just said some pieces are missing, I think. Oh, okay. Boston Bill said, where's your buddy? Say hi for me. My daughter-in-law come up. We were supposed to be going to the track tonight, and with all the stuff, I didn't have a chance to work on my car. So we're not going, and they came to go, so she wanted something to eat. They're going to go get a bite to eat right quick. Let's see. David said, which one do you eat? The dog treat. If I'm good. Tristan said, when you fart, does your ears tingle? No, shit don't come out my mouth. Ryan said, hello, everyone. Hello, Ryan. Maria says, I don't believe you. I know. I don't know what I said that you not, but I know you don't. Lotus said, hi, Jane. Jane said, hi, Ryan. Ryan said, hey, Jane. Maria said, Justin, did you buy it from a dark web? Ryan said, hey, Lotus. Boston Bill said, have fun. Ryan said, hey, Maria. Weber said, the O2 sensor is never changed after 10 years. I just didn't know if it was in a hard location, but it shouldn't be too bad. Hazel said, hi, Pops. Hello, Hazel. Lotus said, what's up, Ryan? Jane said, hi, Weber. What's for dinner? Jane said, hi, Hazel. GT fanboy said, guess who shat their pants again? I'm assuming you, since you want to brag about it. Weber said, pork chops, rice, I believe it's supposed to be ice cream. Jane said, fanboy, are you 12? Weber said, and onion soup. I know what's wrong. I'm in the wrong chair. That feels better. Let's see. Jane said, ice cream? Maria said, let me finish my food and tell you what happened. Okay. We almost died. Oh, no. Hazel said, tell ice cream man. I said, hey, all right. It's just Darius says, I'm making spaghetti for dinner. Are you more than welcome to come over for dinner? Oh, Lord, give me directions. I like spaghetti. David said, hey, do make bench seats. They don't they, for a Ford F-150 seat covers? I think so. Jane said, so, onion soup, is it homemade? Carlo said, yo, y'all, Pops, chat. Hello, Carlo. What is this? Twig wig bug? Okay. Your head is so shiny, I bet you go to the mechanic to get it buffed out. Well, I actually buff it myself, but thank you for the comment. Weber said chicken cover soup cream. Jane said, hi, David. Kevin said, brother, please, I'm hungry. Maria said, oh, no, I thought you were going to say, oh, yes. GT fanboy said, chat so hard I created a second ass. All right. Jane said, hi, Derry. Hugh said, hello, Randy. Hello, Hugh. David said, hey. Hello, David. Jane said, hi, Carlo. Hugh said, hello, Jane. Weber said, it's pre-cat. Jane said, hi, Hugh. Hugh said, hello, David. Maria said, Maria, they're going to die. No. I want all my friends to hang around. I'm getting to know everybody real good. Carlo said, hello, Jane. Hugh said, hello, Carlo. Maria said, just kidding. Olivia said, hey, hello, Olivia. Lotus said, what's up, Carlo? Hugh said, hello, Maria. Lotus, what's up, Hugh? David said, hi. Hugh said, hello, Kevin. Lotus said, what's up, Olivia? Carlo said, hi, Hugh. Hugh said, hello, Ryan. Olivia said, hey, Lotus. Hugh said, hello, Lotus. Jane said, hi, Olivia. GT fanboy said, I subbed while ripping ass on the toilet. All right, thank you. Carlos said, sup, Lotus. Have you seen my latest vid? Hugh said, hello, Olivia. Olivia said, hey, everyone. Ryan said, hi, Olivia. Carlos said, hello, Maria. Olivia said, how is everyone today? I'm doing well. Like I said, we were busy today. Jane said, working tonight, Hugh. Fifth River Rat said, the Iranian leader is dead. Jane said, have you been remembering my name? I'm sorry. I do not. Oh, I see David. Carlos said, what's up, Olivia? Ryan said, doing okay. Weber said, I have been a chief since I was really young. Cool. It's just DeRay says, okay, gotta go. You have a nice great weekend. Don't work too hard. Thank you. You too. I appreciate you stopping in. You said, no, Jane off this weekend, but I'm stuck home because the callus that was a staph infection. Lotus said, doing good and have a nice day. Got out and washed the filthy white car. Sure wish I could wash some of mine. GT fanboy said, all right. Ryan said, I'm not a chief, but I can make one hell of a cup of ramen. Sorry. Jane said, take care of the Ray. Ryan said, hey, Hugh. Ryan said, exclamation point, I believe. Jane said, fanboy, stop it. Lotus said, what kind of salad was that, Randy? Sausage salad. Hugh said, I'm on antibiotics, so I should be good to work Monday. Olivia says, I'm doing a lot better. Went out with some friends and had dinner than did the usual. Well, as long as you're doing better, that's awesome. Hugh said, hello, Ryan. Ryan said, sorry to hear you're under the weather, Hugh. Hugh said, I'm better, brother. Thank you. Right now. I'm better, brother. Oh, TY, thank you. Sorry. Ryan said, good, Olivia. Some fun times is always a good thing. Weber says, have you ever heard of Seymour? Nope. Olivia said, Monday is going to be like hell for both of me and Buggy. TG fanboy said, okay, I'm going to go wipe. Good night. See ya. Have a good one. Thanks for stopping in and the crazy ass comments. Jane said, Hugh had a skin infection. Glad it's cleaned up. Weber said, no, Simon. See ma. Ryan said, why so? Lotus said, good to hear you're not hobbling anymore. Weber said, have you heard of no, not really. James said, why, Olivia? $11 people in here, 18 thumbs up. Levy said, we're getting a lot of parts we need Monday, and we want to get all the cars running for a show. And ironically, the only one that is ready is the one that isn't going. Lotus said, the inventor of the Cray computer. Oh, okay. You said never had a sinus status or a staph infection, so this was new. We were heading to Randy's, but it's infected, so we stayed home. Weber said, yes, I live in Chippewa Valley. Alexander said, hi. Hello, Alexander. And you make sure there ain't nobody here. What you barking for? Come on. Come in here and lay down. No. Let's see. Jane said you've been on antibiotics for a few days. Shouldn't be infection anymore. Lotus said your horse is barking. I know, right? Olivia's kind of straight faced, I believe. He knows I got food. He's trying to find it. Jane said, what state, Weber? Alexander said, where's your dad? My dad? Wrong person, I believe. Jane said, did you feed your horse today? Yeah, that's what he was doing. That's why he was out there. I gave him some food he was eating. Lotus said, fly me over there, Olivia. I will help. Chief said, how is the Pontiac Firebird doing? Well, ours is Camara's, but it's doing pretty good. I did get the belt today, but I did not have an opportunity to put it on. We got to pull Randy's out so we can move the wood cut and stuff. And, of course, he did a burnout and smoked up the shop, so it stinks in here. Olivia said, you wished I could hit them parts, got expensive. Get over here and lay down now. Let's see. You said the doc said it would heal up in 2 days, and it's still draining, bad stuff. So I wasn't sure. Better safe than sorry. Jane said, Lotus, it's just down the highway. Joshua says, if you twiddled your thumbs enough, the earth will rotate faster. All right. Carlos said, Lotus, have you seen my latest? Jane said, if it's still draining, you still need antibiotics. Olivia said, I'm pretty broke and Boggy is probably past any reason of spending anything more. You said, just a 12-hour drive. Yeah, right down the road, Lord. Kevin said, brother, what should I eat? Whatever you want, buddy. Lotus said, I did, Carlo. It sounds like a screamer. You said, I have a few more days worth. Joshua said, dropping a like for being a wholesome guy. Well, thank you. Carlos said, thank you, Lotus. We're showing 11 people, 20 thumbs up. I do appreciate it. Kevin said, I'm getting a pet raccoon. They say they make good pets if you get them early enough. Hugh said, hello, Joshua. Hugh said, a pet coon can be fun. Hugh said, and train them right. Alexander said, so what do you do when you're done going live on YouTube? We usually make the video for tonight. We do a video every day. And we usually well, usually right after Daryl's premiere, Metal Art Customs, and we watch his premiere and also make the video and get it ready for the next morning. Raccoon said hi. Hello, Raccoon. Kevin says, what about a pet skunk? I'm not messing with no skunk. I'm not. I don't want it. Don't want it. And I'm not gonna do it. Weber said the guy and invented supercomputers in Chippewa Valley, Wisconsin. He died in 1996, but we don't know. But my grandmother worked for him. Cool. Lowe's said, I heard decent skunks make good pets. Descended skunks make good pets. Oh, really? Huh. I didn't know anybody would have a pet of a skunk as a pet. Libby says, I'm back to hobbiting. Lotus said, that's cool, Webb. Get any discounts? Lotus said, no hobbiting. Levy said, thank you very much, Lotus. Trying to make the world go faster. Woo! Levy said, yes. Jenny said, this might not be the subject of talking, but I have a pet ferret and she's lost. I haven't seen her since Monday. I'm sorry. Lotus said, is it my fault? And Kevin said, in the UK, the only wild animal you can totally keep as a pet is a skunk, but it's illegal to descent them. Oh, really? Alexander said, what time is it? Mine is 7:42. What about yours? Mine's 6:42. Now, next week, it'll be 7:42. We go up an hour March 8th. Olivia said, no, I wanted to go back to his From the World. You said every time you don't feed them on time, they spray you. Lord, no thank you. Nah, I don't want it. Lotus said, how did the week of having to go to school go? Alexander said, AM or PM? PM. It's getting dark for us. Carlos said, hippity hoppity. Jane said, who had to go to school? I think Olivia had to. Yeah, Lotus said Olivia. Olivia said, I hate every second of that bullshit. Lotus said, Jane has to go to school. Jane said, Lord, I loved college. The Real Term says, can vegans eat chicken feathers? I have no idea. I'm not a vegan. Those said, well, go do Livia's classes. Alexander said, that's weird. It's 6:44 p.m., right? Mine is 7:44 a.m. I just woke up. Well, that's the way it is for Carlo. Carlo's like that. He's in Australia. Lowe said it's just down the highway, only 11 hours. Hugh said if Jane is going to schools, she's learning quilting or gardening. She's learned more than us a long time ago, last week or so. That's right. Lotus said, well, 12 for you. Jane said, I was taking courses at 63, was going to for a master's degree, then thought, wait, what the hell? I'm retired in 3 years. There you go. Hugh said, it's already Sunday for you then. Olivia says, and they still haven't fixed the homebound website yet either. Maria said, a World 3 started today and you don't know. I don't pay no attention. I've heard somebody say something about it, and Randy said we would ask you tonight on the live that you would know. But I haven't had the TV on. I hadn't even had my phone with me today. I've been working. You said, Lil Jane, the real team said it's 5 o'clock somewhere. Only us old ones will understand that. That's right. Lotus said, so you still have to go? You said, all that money on school for what? A piece of paper? Nope. Jane said, World War III started. You said World War III ended today. Libby said, from the looks of it, yes. Hugh said, Iran is falling. Jane said, Hugh, my computer paid. Hugh said, leader and top 40 are dead. Lotus said, the worlds don't want that smoke. Maria said, I always say that if a war started, you'll be the last person who knows. You'll be sitting in your office eating ice cream. You're exactly right. Somebody gonna have to knock on my door and tell me that the war's going on because I don't get out in that mess. Hugh said, oh, okay, Jane. Lotus said 2 hours. World War III be over. Hugh said, Lowell Maria. Alexander said, I can't stop looking at the wall. That one member name of the inventor in dirt. That's Jane. Jane's the inventor of dirt. Hugh said, right, Lotus. Lotus said, we only deployed 10 Raptors. Half of world exploded. Nobody saw a thing. Hugh said, I've been watching all day since I couldn't go anywhere. Hey, get up here and hush. Hey, come here. Hold on. Back up. Back up. Hello, girl.
Girl, shut the door. The dog will run out. Maria's ass better have been in here. She emailed us asking if we were deaf.
Well, yeah, she's. Hey, watch her.
Okay. Come on. You got it.
Let's see. Lotus said, let me see where I'm at. Jane said, hopefully you'll be safe over there. You said, roll on the floor, laugh my ass off. Lotus. Ryan says, I haven't really seen any of it. Ryan said, I know shit is going down though. Sean says Trump several times. Hugh says, not much happened in Iraq. You said it's going down. Olivia said, shut the fuck up, Tom. You said Maria will be safe west of her. Ryan said, no politics, just events. John Deere said, no politics, people. That's the reason I don't know what's going on, because I don't follow it. You said, hello, John Deere. You said, right, lots of events happening. John Deere said, hey, Grand Pedovic. You said, blood moon soon. Liv said, no, not even events. The politics, hey, quick. Maria said, yeah, the boom, they said they're only in the north of Iraq, so I'm safe. Lotus said, looks like we bombed the shit out of the Iranians' leader. Jane said, is that R3? Yes, it was. Baby girl had to go to the bathroom, I think. John Deere said, March 3rd is Tuesday, blood moon. You said, hello, R3. Ryan said, good, Maria, glad you're safe. Carlos said, no, it's R2D2, Jane. Come here, buddy. Come here. Let me hold this right here. I don't know how you're going to act when that door opens. Be still. Let's see. Alexander said, a day ago, my uncle said a joke to me. He said, when you get old, stop brushing your teeth. No one's going to kiss you. You're just wasting toothpaste. Oh, shit. Stop. I think it went down at the bottom. Ryan said, wasn't a joke. Weber said, hello. You said, next blood moon is 2029. I believe that can be some scene from America. Maria said, lol, they say he died. I'm glad because he killed a lot of people and now his time came. There you go. Randy. You have the door shut out here? Do you have the door shut going down the ramp? I'm letting Kane out. Let's see. Weber said hello. You said next blood moon. I believe I said that. Let's see. I read that one. Ryan said, when is it? Robert said, what time is what up? This time it's Robert. Hello, Robert. Weber said, do you have any disabled friends? Mentally or? We know several people, yes. Lotus said he was working on nuking America. F that guy. Weber said, did you have any disabled friends? Yes. Raccoon said, hi. Ryan said, depends on how you define disabled. I'm pretty retarded.
Don't talk about me like that, Ryan.
Maria said, we're in the worst place on earth between two countries that hate each other so much that they're going to kill everyone. Robert said, win the car show. Good God almighty.
Oh, it's the same thing.
Oh, you piece of shit.
Somebody deleted it.
Thank you, Ryan. Robert said, win the car show. I don't know. Alex said, yeah, Ryan, it isn't a joke. After that, I went inside and my body imploded. Robert said, even that hurt the hell out of my brain. Let's see. Randy was disabled. Yep. You said another blood moon, New Year's 2028, but won't see another one from America till June of 2029. Carlos said, what's up, R3? He got him a drink and hauled ass. You would think he'd take the drinks and go put them in the drink machine, but nope. Carlos said, what's up, R3? I just read that. Maria said, I'm disabled. I wear glasses. Elevator said, happy Saturday. Hello, Elevator. Weber said, shit. Tyson said, hello. Hello, Tyson. Lotus said, hey, Ryan, I give you 20 and a Reese's cup for your armor. Olivia said, I'm disabled. Ryan said, lol. Lotus, Hugh said, hello, Lotus. Weber said, so am I. Ryan said, it honestly might actually be for sale. Lotus said, he not that tarded. Alexander said, was that your dad walking a few seconds ago? No, that was my son. Lotus said, what do you want for it? Maria said, I'm making tea. Who wants? I'd like to try it. 18 people, 24 thumbs up. Alexander said, oh. Tyson said, I had some orange juice, some water mixed together. Randy says, I'll make tea with sugar. James says, me, Maria. John said, hi. Ryan says, don't know, let me gather up everything I've got for it and I'll let you make me an offer. Lotus said, what kind of tea? Weber said, I am born with autism and high levels of spectrum. Hugh says, it's usually the younger ones that with hair, us older ones are bald. James said, hey, Tyson. Ozzy said, Pops, why aren't you working? I'm on the live. Maria said, red tea. Lotus said, I made you an offer, $20. I guess that offer wasn't good enough. 20 people in here, 25 thumbs up. Lotus said, you probably need more than I can afford right now. James said, I think there are many people undiagnosed with autism. Tyson said, I had some orange juice and water mixed together. Hugh said, he's working hard at the live show. There you go. Ryan said, well, wherever I don't call people on the spectrum retarded, I call dumb people retarded. I am dumb. Lol. James said 20 and a Reese's. Tyson said, hi, Jane. Berger said, Jesus is the truth. He's, thank you. I'm not going to read that. Berger said, waving, hello. Lotus says, I ate the Reese's. Levy said, I'll one up Lotus. I don't know what we're buying, but $22. Hugh said, and a Reese's, come on. Now that's a Reese's. Hugh said, lol. Ryan said, we don't do religion here, brother. Berger. Loa said, this guy on the NHSO registration. What does that mean? NHSO. I don't know what that means. Maria says, how much blind are you are? I don't know. I don't go to the doctor. These are dollar store glasses. Jane said, Ryan, you aren't dumb. Ryan. Ryan said, Lord, Jane, just follow her instructions well. Lotus says, a no running 6 armor car race. I don't know what that is. I'm glad y'all know what it is. Lois said, Jane, are you barefooted? Ryan said, Ryan. Hugh said, Lord, Ryan. Jane said, right. You done good. Jane said, nope, Loa, socks on tonight. It's not gay if you keep your socks on. Weber said, I hate the Chevrolet Suburban. I've been abusing the shit out of it. Maria said, you should see a doctor for once in your life. Why? Ryan said, yes, sir. Got a fancy charger for it and a spare bodies and wheels. Hugh says, a 6S carton. I'll give you Snickers too. Lois says, Jane, can I escape, please? Maria said, relax. Doctors are friendly. Hugh said, Lowell. Alexander says, in a bit, new here. I have a question for you. Have you made a live when you did a room tour? We've done several tours of the building and showed everybody the building. Randy normally does it, but baby girls and everybody's here down there, so and they're eating, so I won't be able to do it right now. Maria said, what did you mean, why? Shit, Maria, I never forgot. I'm not going to see no doctor. Why do I need to go see a doctor? Lotus says, I'll do 100. Jane said, Lowell, we were escaping from, are we locked up? Maria says, I don't like it when he says, why? Why? Hugh says, oh, extra bodies. I'll give you a Snickers and a lollipop. A lollipop. Oh, said, I'm locked up, Jane. Minnie says, is Randy feeling Randy? I am feeling pretty good today. So, like I said, we had a good day. I'm tired as shit. But we had a good day. Like I said, we didn't get to work on the car or the trailer, but we had several customers.
Did I
today.
hear somebody wanted a shop tour? Come with me.
Yep. There goes your shop tour.
All right, we'll start here with the original bays. This is topless Zelda because she has no top. Orange truck. Kane. Twisted Sister. Let's see. Nope, I'm not even gonna. Nope. Y'all don't get to see what's behind that door. The True air compressors. Death Trap Honda 253 wheeler, made it up to a go-kart frame. Pacer wheels, long tube headers, wheels. 396 402 big block. Blown it. Look, this one has a window and all the parts from it. There's another one, and then the motor room here. Intake, pistons, OptiSpark, bell housing, intake, headers with glass packs, another motor, another Kane, purple wheels, motor, electric dirt bike. Got to be careful. I'm going to run out of Wi-Fi. Square body, C10. Boat storage room is empty. Storage room that Kane has destroyed. Nitrous. Diesel catalytic converter. Exhaust work. Pipe bender. The room that shall not be mentioned. Exhaust pipe. 10 foot, 7.5. You versus the guy she tells you not to worry about. Another pipe bender. This room needs to be cleaned again. Kane knocked over something and spilled it. Dumb dog. My favorite sign in the building. It says shit. Got to be careful. Madison's in here. Whoop. Fireball with the bathrooms. Renovated bathroom on the left. Yeah, they can't see mommy. This is our LS motor. Don't worry, Hugh, I've not got it to run yet. I've not messed with it anymore. Drink machine. Yes.
You're on there.
The Never Done Projects member wall. That's supposed to be out of the road, but we can't get it mounted up right. Bloop. One of the 3 offices. If you want to know why we're not in here, Mike gave us that. Because this office leaks. And I don't feel like putting a bunch of stuff in here and then it leaking. I don't miss that thing. You are not driving that thing right now. Another office. This is the one we started in. And guess what? It leaks too. Look, it's me.
And this is the baby jail for Allie.
Yep, baby jail for Allie.
Can I show them one thing over here?
What do you want to show them over here?
My birthday thing.
Oh, yeah. All right, let's go give it back to Papa so he can read all the comments.
Okay. Can you read a little bit?
No. Today's agenda. Did we accomplish it all? Get out of the way. Coffee and fire. Everything except for Caraway and work on the trailer. 41 days till Burnout Rivals, by the way. Madison. Oh, there's Alley Bug. What? What is it? It's our littlest fan. LT1. Because you're not as small as Allie is. Okay. Washer and dryer. Anybody want to see anything else? Comment now or forever hold your peace. Don't worry, I can't see it on the chat anyway. There's another nitrous bottle somewhere. There you go.
All right, now I
I
gotta
just
get
can't get
called
into the
up.
boat room because, well, I'll run out of water.
All right, let me make sure. Weber says you like glasses. You are a glasses. Yep. Let's see. Lotus said I'm just digging myself out of the winter hole. Lois says under your feet, Jane. Jane said Maria, I used dime store glasses for years. Had two in every room. Then eyes got too bad. Bit says Miss says what pronouns do you prefer? We don't play that shit. If you can't figure out who I am, you're in the wrong life. Jane said, body's behind that door. Lotus said, my pronouns are a hoe and try me. The Ryan says, hi. Jane said, Laura, do I need to remove socks for you to get out? Watch my cats. They'll get you. Jane said, hey, boat storage room empty. Yeah, we moved over to where all the tires were. We moved the boat to it. And then we're gonna set up the wood cutting so we can cut the wood and fix the trailer. I got the trailer backed up to that room, so we can do it all in sequence and kind of make it a chain way we cut them and put them up. Let's see. Let's see, where am I at? It was Jane said there. Jane said, man, I need to come in clean. Come on, Ryan. Yeah. Alexander said he can't read the comments. He's just holding the camera. John Deere said, a room you shall not enter sounds like a for Lord of Rings. That's right. MT says, big storage. Hugh says, hey, big girl. Hugh says, hello, R3. Oh. Burger said, Jesus is the truth. Thank you. We don't do the, like I said, religion and stuff. Maria said, oh my God, the girl's here. Hugh said, hello, Madison and baby girls. Maria said, bathroom. Madison said, hey, Hugh. Maria's looking. Hugh said, my big block sitting there. Hugh said, lol. Jane said, hi, Maria. Madison said, hey, Jane. Alexander said, wow. Maria says, from when you get the live pics? From where I always look up something on the internet, like I look up cartoon running late. That's where I got this one. Hazel said, ice cream man here. Madison said, hey, Maria. Nickel Pony said, hey, Pops and all. Hello, Nickel Pony. Hugh said, hello, Hazel. Carlos said, I did a poop and wiped too hard. Now my rectum hurts. Ouchie. Damn it. Maria says, hi, Madison. Hugh said, my pronouns is 12 gauge. Ozzy said, Pops, where's Randy? My daughter-in-law and baby girls are here, and they're all down there eating. Hugh said, I identify as a AR-15. Ryan said, Jane is funny. Oh, me, clean. Jane said, hi, Ozzy. Alexander said, what's your son? Who did the tour? Yeah, that was my oldest son. He's the one that actually owns the building. Ryan said, hey, Alex. Jane said, lol. Okay, Ryan, you hold the camera. Should I pick you up on the way down? Ryan said, lol, I'm so far out of the way. I'm way west of them. I'm almost at the ocean. Jane said, Carlo, TMI. Hugh says, hello, Nico. Jane said, hi, Nickel. Ryan said, I want to do a little trip out there and try to camp in my Jetta. You know, you're always welcome if you talk my ear. Nickel Pony said, hey, you, Jane. And Miss Jane. Maria said, my pronouns is alien. Ozzy said, Pops, I missed it. Where is Randy again? My daughter-in-law and grandbabies are here. So, and they went and got food, so they're down into the, where we do our breakfast live, and they're eating right now. Madison don't like to be on the camera, so he tries to keep, we try to respect her feelings. Jane said, oh, Ryan, we will need to hit the ocean before we go. I love the ocean. Ryan said, my pronouns is mean and prick. Hugh said, Jane is a landlocked, so she needs to see some ocean. Matt said, don't forget Richard Ryan. Ryan said, I'm about an hour and a half from Nag's Head. Maria says, yeah, respect women. I do. Ryan said, oh, lol, I did forget. Nickelbony said, I had some excitement here this afternoon. Wife's small dog snuck into my truck. Didn't see him, so closed the door with the keys in it. He stepped on auto lock button. Oh, no. Hugh said, I'm 2 hours from the ocean and I hate it. Sunrise at Fort Lauderdale Beach every morning was so majestic. Ryan said, cool, Nickel. That's such a fun time. Lol. Maria said, you don't respect female aliens. I respect everybody, and even aliens. Now, aliens might get on my nerves and we have our little tit for tat, but I respect them. Jane said, oh crap, Nickel, it's a hot down there. Hugh says, wow, that's not good. Livy said, my pronouns are biatch and ho. Hugh said, real men respect women and other men. Maria says, show us your respect. I do. Alexander said, when you done going live, are you going to go live again, or are you going to make video? After at 8 o'clock, I will probably finish the video. Ryan said, I need to spend more time at the beach, honestly. I used to love summer nights in Virginia Beach oceanfront. It was blissful, too long bored up and down the strip. Maria said, Nick Capone said, yeah, was 83 out here. Wire hanger saved the day. Wire hanger saved the day. Woo. Jane said, Maria, Pops respects most women. I mean, we get in here having fun sometime, but we don't mean no disrespect. We just shooting the shit. Y'all too touchy. Y'all get y'all will wear your feelings on your shoulders. Good Lord, we just playing. Hugh says, being a man is your actions, not your antimony. Yep. Maria says, what do you wish for, Randy? Peace. Hugh's laughing. Maria says, are your nails shiny today? They're actually dirty. I need to wash my hands. Hugh said, I love some wire hangers. I keep them on hand. Jane said, Alexander, they go live every evening at 6 p.m. Eastern United States. Maria says, look who's talking about being sensitive man. Jane said, Nickel, you only have one set of keys? Question mark. By the way, Maria, March 8th, we go back our hour up. So when we go on live at 6, it will be, we'll advance an hour, so it'd be different for you. Hugh said, Lord Maria. Alexander said, bye, I have to go. One question, do you have problems reading before I go? I do. I do not read very well. This helps me, but I do have problems with certain words, but I still try to respect everybody and read everybody's comment. There's some people in this live that likes to try to trip me up, but, I do the best I can. Maria says, if you call him bald, he'll go crying like a baby. Dang, Maria, that hurt my feelings. Maria said, what did you say? Hell, I don't know now. Fish memory. Ryan said, Alexander, feel free to subscribe and come back tomorrow. Yes, please. Jane said, Lord Maria. Nick Capone says, key fob, Miss Jane, the other keys was inside fob. Nick Capone says, not anymore. Maria says, what's on March? March 8th, we advance an hour again. You know how last time you said that our time was off and we were going on live at a different time, it will happen again after March 8th. You said we have daylight savings time coming up on the east coast of America in a few days. Alexander said, thanks. Have a nice day. Bye, everyone. See you, Alexander. Thank you. Brian said, taco night. Carlos says, now my rectum is sore. Hugh said, tacos. Maria says, oh. Hugh says, Saturday night into Sunday morning, it's spring forward an hour. Nickel Pony says, having crawfish tonight. Cool. Ryan said, low key, one of the mankind's truly great inventions. Whoop. He retracted that one. Before I got to finish reading it. 21 people, 28 thumbs up. Hey, Randy. Hey, Randy. Put some wood on the fire. You said Benjamin Franklin came up with it for schools, children before streetlights should be stopped. Maria says, I'm wearing jeans and I feel good. Ryan said, Daisy Squeak's bottle sour cream is best invention of mankind. You said, jeans? Nice. Do y'all not wear jeans a lot? Lotus says, I'm ready for the spring forward. I am too, Lotus. I'm ready for the pretty weather. I'm ready for it to get daylight longer. You said, yeah, squeeze bottle is awesome. We'll have to change up on our lives a little bit when it springs forward because we got to get some shit done. You said, I'm just ready for spring, period. Me too. Carlos said, geez, R3 shouting is startling me. Maria said, I would be feeling better if there's no missiles out there. Ryan said, no, ever since my surgery, I've been parked in jogging pants and shorts, lol. Lotus says, hate this dark at 6, poop. Yeah, me too, Lotus. I hate it. Ryan said, pants are painful, LOL. Hugh says, it's not close to you, is it, Maria? Maria says, yeah, men here only wear jeans as well as women do, too. Yep, it's not close. Can you hear it? Or, you just know it's happening because of the news. Ryan said, I'm going to be a Oshkosh guy before you too long. Maria says, no, I can't hear it. Okay. Maria says, but it's on the news. Remember, don't always believe the news. I ain't saying it ain't happening, but let's see. Hugh says, good. I've been watching it all day. It's all over it, and it's all over. Carlos, I'm looking forward to Autumn run my RC Nitros. Maria said, I feel like a grown-up man in this middle 40 watching the news. Jack Russell said, anyone who sits in a chair is ultra gay. You must be sitting in a chair. Jane said, Ryan, are those fat boy jeans? Question mark. You said, I have family in Tel Aviv and elsewhere and are worried about them. Not Jewish, don't know why they moved there. Nick Capone said, still cold enough for a fire there, Pops. Yes. But mainly because it gets chilly in the building. I'm probably, after the video and everything, I'll probably sit down there by myself tonight and watch a movie, to be honest with you. So I wanted to make sure that we kept the fire going for tonight. Ryan said they're overalls, the jeans with the straps. Lotus says, get you some Jensco, Ryan, plenty of room. Maria said, my friend in Kirsten, in the north, she said she woke up by the bombs noise today. Ooh. You said, days are nice, but nights are fire-worthy. You said, wow, Maria. Jane said, that's so scary, Maria. Maria said, yeah, so scary. Ryan said, Lord, have mercy. Do they even make Jaco anymore? Hugh said, here in America, we don't know that except veterans. Maria says, and I thought living in the north is better and peaceful. Lotus said, they actually do. Maria said, I mean, it's not their fault. Hugh said, it's hard to imagine for most of us. It is. That's what we try to tell Maria. We don't know what's going on outside of it. You know, I don't even know what to think about hearing a bunch of bombs and shit. You know, that would be just unreal. When, you know, the few times we've had those small earthquakes and we felt the house move or whatever, that was weird enough. Maria says, Kurdish people are so peaceful. Ashley says, name your 6 favorite planets in order from least to favorite to most favorite. I'm just going to tell you, I don't really think about it, but Earth's my favorite. Ryan said, that's effing nuts. I had a few pair in high school. I had a couple of trip pants too. Lotus says, I still have my trip pants. VLC says, whoop. VLC got deleted by Jane. You said, I've seen videos and pictures of the north of Iraq and it's some brat country. Hugh said, beautiful. Lotus said, the Jenko have been gone for a long time. Maria said, Earth is his favorite because he's a human. Ashley said, top 35 favorite Christmas memories. I mean, I control alt delete. I don't think much about it, to be honest with you, Ashley. Hugh said, I always loved my Levi's. Maria said, what does brat mean? Jane said, he meant beautiful, Maria. But brat usually means a spoiled kid, but he meant beautiful. Hugh said, it was supposed to be beautiful, but my phone doesn't like me. Maria says, oh, sorry. Ryan said, Levi's used to be my jam, but then I started ripping the knees left and right after just a half a year. Ashley says, I love you for answering my stupid questions. Honestly, you're a good guy. Well, thank you. Maria says, thank you, Hugh. Hugh says, right, Ryan, Wrangler became my favorite. Nicholas says, hello, good night. Hello, good night. 14 people, 28 thumbs up. Boy, our thumbs up ain't went nowhere. Let's see where we at. Nicholas says, Hugh, hello. Hugh says, I was a skater, so I toured them a lot. Maria said, he answers my stupid questions too. Jane said, hi, Nicholas. Nicholas said, Jane, hello. And a waving. Hugh says, hello, Nicholas. Maria said, I think he's going to be in a coma one day because of my questions. Nickel Pony said, yeah, Wrangler jeans are a law here in Texas, I think. Hugh said, roll on the ground, laugh my ass off, Maria. Nicholas says, like for you 27, thank you. Lotus says, I can't do Wrangler, the legs are too tight for me. That's the way I am. I like Carhartt. Let's see. Hugh says, I don't hate Wrangler at all, but I shop at Ross now. So I get whatever this kind of stretchy. Maria says, is that your shoes? Yeah, I took my boots off. They were starting to hurt my feet. Carlos said, Jane, my sugars were 223 when I woke up feeling so weak and tired. Shouldn't be eating pepperoni pizza last night. Jane said, my son-in-law has to wear the jeans that have baggy legs. I've never seen thighs as big as his for a guy that doesn't bodybuild. Maria said, well, you wear shoes at your home? Yeah. I usually wear these are like Skechers, just a slide-on shoe. I like my slide-on shoe and my Hey-Do's. I like wearing those. I did buy a cheap pair of Walmart shoes the other day, a pair of tie-up. That's the first pair I've had in a long time. Nicholas said, happy Saturday, buddy. Yes, sir. You too. Ryan says, denim pants. Maria, you said, I found a design, but other Wrangler designs I can't wear. I like bootleg. Maria says, if I wore shoes at home, my mom would kill me. Really? Nick Capone says, all my FRCs are Wrangler. Maria says, because the rug gonna be dirty. Vic says, out, in and out. Hey, Vic. Jane says, Carlo, what else did you have with pizza? Nick said, why do you kiss hot dogs before you eat them? Nicholas said, poof. Riley said, what's your favorite color? Orange. But I'm starting to change it now because too many people don't like me liking orange. Nicholas said, number one. Jane said, hey, Big Cool Cat said, please double tap the screen. Help these gentlemen out. Please subscribe, double tap the screen. Thank you. Hugh said, right, it's muddy here. I've lived and you've tracked through the house. Nick said, what's your favorite flavor of crayon? What's your favorite flavored crayon? Purple. I like grape. Jane said, hey, Nick. Carlos said, nothing else, Jane. Maria says, you don't have rugs. Yeah, I mean, I got a vacuum cleaner too. Hugh says, I enjoy the pink crayons. Jane says, do you take Instant Carlo? Nick said, hi, Jane. Ryan says, I like the purple. Maria said, change orange, don't you dare. Maria says, if you change that, then who's going to make fun of? Who I'm going to make fun of? Well, maybe that's why I'm changing it. Carlos said, nope, Jane, I'm on cabinet tablets. Hugh says, we have carpet, which is a rug wall to wall, Maria. In most homes or hardwood floors, some are tile. Riley said, I think people don't like orange because it reminds them of jail, or the cover reminds them of jail kind of, but like, you know what I mean, right? Yeah, well, see, my favorite color is orange. I had an orange truck my first truck was an orange truck, and I've always liked orange. My C10 out there is orange. And people can't stand it when I say I like orange. They just have a damn conniption fit. So that's about to wear off. You said tile. Rich said howdy. And Maria said don't change it. We like it. Jane says hi, Rich. You said hello, Rich. Nick said orange is the best color. Rich says hi, Jane. Ryan says a brighter orange is the only acceptable change. Maria says, orange, it reminds me of a bad memory. That's why. Jane said, Carlo, drink a lot of water or bread makes sugar go up. Carlo said, orange is awesome. Stops you from getting shot in the woods. That's right. Maria said, who said they hate your orange anyways? John said, pink. Carlo said, okay, thanks, Jane. 13 people, 30, thumbs up. My piece come out from my chair. The chair leaning back forward. Maria said, Nick Capone said, going to eat some dinner. All right, Nick Capone, thanks for stopping in. Enjoy. Nickel Pony said, Pops, have a great night. Oh, you too. Nickel Pony, thank you for coming in. Lotus said, Carlo, I heard Skittles will lower your sugar. And James said, take care, Nickel. You said, yeah, I'm sure it will. Roll on the ground, let the floor, laugh my ass off. James said, no, it won't, Lotus. I heard it would. It helped mine out the other day. I couldn't see. My sugar was high, so I ate a bunch of them. Not. Hugh said, and ice cream. That's right. Lotus said, shut up, Jane. Dean said, howdy, sir. Howdy, Dean. Cool Cat said, please subscribe, double tap the screen. Help these gentlemen out. Double tap the screen, please. Subscribe now. Thank you, Cool Cat. You said a bag of sugar is as good, huh? Hey, that's right. Jane said, hi, Dean. You said, hello, Dean. Brother said, hey, hello, brother, and waving. 16 people, 32 thumbs up. Rich says, oh, hi, Hugh. Daryl said, hey, guys, I'm just tapping in. I'm still at the shop working on the burnout car. All right, Daryl, I appreciate it. You make sure you get that car done now. I need to be on mine, to be honest with you, and the trailer, but I was busy today. Riley says, do you go live every single day? Every day. Twice on Sunday. Dean said, Bucky took the car with him. Uh-oh. Jane said, Lowell, shut up, Lotus. Lotus said, sup, Daryl. Jane said, hi, Riley. Brent said, clap if you're bald. Clap on. Clap off. You said, hello, Daryl. Jane said, hi, Daryl. You said, clap, clap, clap. Lol. Brent said, you know I'm reading very hard English classic books. Oh, really? Daryl said, I'm sure trying to get it done. It took me 2.5 hours mounting tires by hand today. Well, one of the things we done today was took that flat tire off that semi and put a new one on. And I didn't take it off the truck. That was the first time I ever done a tire that was, the wheel stayed on the truck. So it's not that hard. It just was awkward for us to do it for the first time. So that took a little bit of time. James said, what did you work on today, Pops? Well, we started off with, I had a guy come, needed a set of tires put on. We sold him a set of tires. Then my daddy came and I put a set of tires on for him. And we had a guy right before the live. That's why I was late coming into live. Had the brand new 2026 Chevrolet towed here for us to fix the tire. And I fixed the Vivo tire. We moved the trailers around, moved the boat around, and moved the tires so that we could move the boat. So we've been busy today. Maria says, very old words. Jane said, Maria, what you doing anonymity next semester? Dean says, but he gave me his card and told me to buy any car or truck I wanted. Cool. Maria says, yup. Jane Dipped said, what one of your favorite memories? I'm probably doing my favorite memories right now doing this YouTube. Me doing the burnouts, and now I'm not counting when my kids were born. I'm not saying that. But doing the burnouts and the drag strip for the first time, that stuff I've always wanted to do. So right now I'm living on cloud 9, to be honest with you. Lotus says, Lambo. Jason Maria, don't read that. Lord, people don't talk that like that. Bat Boy said, opinion on ice. I like crushed ice and barrel ice. The smaller ice, I chew on ice a lot of times, and the bigger ones tend to break my teeth. But I do like the barrel ice and crushed ice. That's cool. Cowgirl says, what do you feel about ghost hunting? I don't believe in ghosts. Hugh said it's cold. Lotus said, Ketter eggs. Okay. Jane said, my favorite memory are when my kids were born. I wasn't, that's probably my favorite memory. I shouldn't have said it like that, but you're right. Maria said, Jane, I'm going to send you our new subjects. Weber said Ferrari is not Volkswagen. And Jane said, okay, Maria. Weber said Ferrari is only self. Lotus said Porsche is. Reaper said meow. Hello, Reaper. Hugh said Porsche is an expensive Volkswagen. Hello, Reaper. Lotus says Super. Ron said VW seats soda Audi, Bentley, Lamborghini, and Bugatti. Bat Boy said period. Big ice is not very good. It's just melts. That's right. And like I said, it kind of breaks my teeth, so I like the smaller ice. And the barrel ice is cool. Ryan said Porsche, unless something changed technology, it's its own thing, I thought. Ryan said Austin Martin is Ford. Really? I didn't know that. Reaper said, oh, we talking about favorite memories? Then mine is when I met Annabelle and she pulled me over. That's right. Hugh says, it is. Back in the day, it was a hopped up Volkswagen. Rhys says, what are you eating? Ice. Lotus says, VW owns Porsche. Weber said Porsche, Lamborghini, Audi, Bugatti, Mercedes, Alfa Romeo, Kia, Genesis, and Hyundai. See, Hugh says they even sound the same. Jane said ice. Maria says my favorite memory, question mark. Matthew says, howdy Randy and everyone. Hello, Matthew. Weber said they're all Volkswagen. Ryan said the bug was designed by the creator of Porsche. Raccoon said I sprained my hand and my doctor said if I fall I could break it but not heal at all. Cool. I mean, dang, I hate that. Levy said I'm craving something sweet. Chris said I like an ice mug, keeps it cold, not watered down. Yeah, that I like that too. That's cool. Jane said, hi, Matthew. Maria says, you eat ice? Question mark. Are you Elsa or something? Or something. Hugh said, hello, Matthew. Reaper says, Dean bought a Subaru. I guess working at the Pink Pony really worked on him. Maria says, let it go, Randy. Hugh says, Elsa. Lotus says, I have a Genesis Coupe Turbo. Hugh says, Lowell. Jane said, hi, Raccoon. Ryan says, well, look, y'all, I got to run. Y'all be good. See you, Ryan. Thanks for stopping in. Ryan said, have a great night. Maria said, I think my favorite memory is the memories that I have with my friends. Cool. Hope we're part of it. Hugh said, have a great night, Ryan. Jane said, take care, Ryan. Lotus said, later, Ryan. Olivia says, we naming car companies. Weber says Land Rover. Hugh says naming garbage. Reaper says that was me. Dean's a cop. Hugh said Lowell. Lotus said Dean is a nice guy though. Those C8 ZR1s look pretty dope. Maria says no, you in my worst memories. Man, that hurts my feelings. Weber said the only car that's not made by Volkswagen is the Legendary Toyota Hilux. Olivia said, if so, I can name a few. Maria said, sensitive man. Yeah, you hurt my feelings, Maria. I'm a simple man. Lotus said cars Dean should buy with Reaper's money. That's right. Let's see. Carlos says, Jane, I drank 2 tall glasses of water. Rita said, you shouldn't have feelings or you shouldn't have feelings. You're bald. You lost your feelings when you shaved your head. Oh, okay. Jane said, good deal, Carlo. Olivia said some of my favorite memories, what mad over a screen looking at that bald man, and 90% of them he was giving me hell. Maria said, and stop eating ice, it makes me nervous. I'm putting my headphones on. Weber said, I'm actually not. Okay. Kitty. Carlos said, Jane. Olivia says, love you, Pop, son. $12 people in here, 36 thumbs up. Jane said, Weber, why that comment? Question mark. Weber said, in Wisconsin, you're not. Letter says, no, you don't. Weber said, nothing to do and nothing can do. Maria said, and then he said, Maria hates me for no reason. What? What'd I do? Letter says, no, you're cheese. Maria says, I'm going to throw my ears in the trash. Olivia said, what did I miss? You can't hear that. Let's see. Weber said, cheese brands. Randy says, Addie's showing pictures. All right. Thank you, Addie. Maria says, just like you hate hearing people eating loud. Can you really hear me eating that ice this far away? Let's see. Olivia says, we having ice cream. I wanted to go get a big thing of it so I can have a bowl of ice cream. I just wanted some ice cream tonight, other than Randy's got some on a stick, but I just wanted a bowl of ice cream tonight. But I didn't go get it. Olivia said, ice is loud. So you mean to tell me putting this ice and eating it, y'all can hear it? I mean, seriously. Raccoon said, I sprained my hand and my doctor said if I fall on my hand I could break it, but it not healing. Olivia said, that felt I'd go get. Mike says, hi, Randy. Hello, Mike. Miss, I swear by all gods on earth I can hear it. Okay. I'm sorry. I thought you were just making a joke. I really didn't think you could hear me eating ice. Lotus said, yes, fool. Yup. Oh, man, I am sorry. I didn't realize that. Hugh said, hello, Mike. Liv says, yeah, try it. No, I'm not. Hey, Eddie. James said, Raccoon, you need to keep it wrapped up. Lotus said, what's up, Mike? I can hear it, but it doesn't bother. Well, I really didn't think y'all could hear it, so I apologize. I mean, I thought she was just making a joke. My bad. Jane said, hi, Mike. Olivia said, it's not a terrible sound, though. Yeah, but I do know what it's like when people smack and eat loud with potato chips. I get on Randy's ass all the time for it. So, hey, I apologize. I didn't mean, I thought she was just making a joke. John Deere says, I can hear you eating ice. Lotus says, keep it up. Maria is losing it. James said, turn the sound down, Maria. Well, what's really bad is I really thought she was making a joke. But she said she put her earphones on, so I imagine if y'all can hear it and she's got earphones on, I feel bad now. You said, my wife tries to eat ice while we're watching TV and I want to slap her. I wouldn't, but you never seen a movie where they picture cutting someone's throat. Rhea said, then I can't hear him talk. You said, that's me. Weber said, in Wisconsin we have weathers. Okay. Lotus said, where's the clickety that's here's one. Mike says, hi, Jane. Mike says, hello, Ryan. Jane said, Weber in Ohio, we do too. Lotus says, it was nice weather today. Mike said, what's up, Lotus? Maria said, yeah, say sorry to my ears. I'm sorry. I am very sorry. I really thought you were just making a joke. Olivia says, why do you feel bad? Both of y'all are at each other's throats all the time. I'm nice. She's hateful. Jane says, supposed to snow next week. Lotus, oh no, please keep it. Carlos said that's called Miss Foley, whatever, Pop's hatred of certain sounds. Yes. Lotus said, sup, Mike got all the digits? Chris said, the worst thing is I never heard is you eating ice and after that you singing. Well, now I'm not going to stop singing now. Mike said, Carlos says, sup, Mike? Jane says, what about when he clicks the pin, Maria? Y'all want me to try it? Weber says, don't be a mistletoe act like my cousin. You said, Lord Maria. Lotus says, I got rain. Maria said, he's not nice. He's lying. Lotus, I think it's Olivia that triggered by the pen. Hunter Smith said, what's up, y'all? Hello, Hunter. Hunter said, I started posting. Awesome. That's good, buddy. I'm glad. Maria said, look at his nose. It's getting taller like Pinocchio. Mike said, hi, Olivia, Maria, and JD. Jane said, oh, they changed forecast. It'll be in sunny and 80-degree weather. There you go. That's what I like to hear. Lotus said, so if he eats ice and clicks the pin, he triggers 2 at a time? Oh, Lord. Hugh says, let it go, let it go, let it go. We got some sensitive people in here tonight. Damn it. My wood fell out. Daggone it. Hunter said, got some videos of me tractor pulling, playing on the trike and shooting, planning on making some of me with my chainsaw soon. It's a ton of fun. Yeah, it is. I enjoy it. Weber says, let it grow, let it grow, let it grow, let it grow. Lotus said, his head isn't as shiny. I think he needs to visit Daryl for a good buffing. Yeah. Maria said, more sensitive than you. I don't think so. Hugh said, that's Elsa from Frozen. Let it go, let it go. Mike said, Lotus, I didn't work on anything today, so digits are good. I did think about you the other day when I was ripping wood in the table saw. Lotus says, it grew. I cut it down and smoked it. Riz said, I'll stop being the biggest fan and start being the biggest hater. Lotus said, lol. You said, lol. Whatever you gotta do, Maria. Weber says, let it grow, let it grow, let it grow, let it grow. Riz said, did you know if I knew you and Randy gonna find about my account, I wouldn't write the biggest NDP fan? That's embarrassing. I don't see why that's embarrassing. I think it's cool that you like, coming on here and liking the content and stuff. I don't see nothing embarrassing about it. Weber said, left my ass off. I think, Marie, you've taught Randy and I a lot. Well, you really have. I mean, there's
let it die, let it shrivel up and die.
There's a lot of things that Randy and I didn't know that you've informed us.
Don't mind me. I'm gonna sit back here
You
and play
said,
Pokemon for the last few minutes.
That's not embarrassing. That's fun. Weber said, I heard your son in the background saying, let it die and die. Yeah.
Well, you ain't gotta worry about hearing it in the background. It's in the foreground this time.
You said, lol.
Yeah, I come in here and everybody stop talking.
That's because you talking about dying, hollering and...
That's the Lorax song. Fuck the Lorax.
Maria says, thank you.
You're welcome.
Carlos said, that Bubba Buds, the Lotus, that'll blow your mind. Olivia said, Boggy says the same thing. Randy, Boggy says the exact damn thing. John Deere said, what is Randy playing with Junior Pink toy?
It is my Nintendo Switch that I gave Addie and gave a case to. But if you did not know, yesterday Nintendo released Fire Red and Leaf Green on the Switch. And I am reliving my childhood. I am playing Fire Red.
As long as we don't start chasing them damn Pokemon all over the damn place.
You'd just be happy that we were on the lake. Kiss my butt.
Maria says, you and Randy teach me a lot of stuff too. I really appreciate it.
We have no problem sharing our knowledge with you.
Madison said, twinsies. Livy says, we are not hateful. Maria said, seriously, before NDP, I was a totally different person. Well, I hope that's a good thing. Whoever says, SCD, let it grow, let it grow, let it grow. Lotus said, I have lemon cherry Colado. It's pretty good. I don't know what that is. Daryl said, I think I'm done for the night. Hugh said, okay, everyone, going to head to the shed and see if I can update this ECU. Finally got all the programs updated. All right, Hugh, thank you for stopping in. Good luck. Raccoon said, I love Pokemon.
I do too.
Hugh says, have a great night, everyone. See you, Hugh. Carlos said, sounds good. Lotus. John Deere said, good night, Hugh. Madison said, see you, Hugh. Olivia said, might Hugh. Rita said, even my friends noticed that my English is getting really better.
Your English is doing really good.
I think you're doing awesome. Raccoon said, good night, Vic. John Deere said, dang it, autocorrect. Maria said, now I can type like a professional. Daryl says, hi, all sorry I can't tag y'all tonight.
It's all good.
Yeah. Maria says, little Randy, please turn the music down.
Oh.
We can hear it. Olivia says, little Randy, have you played Balgon before?
I don't even know what the hell.
Bakugon?
I don't know.
Weber says, can you please give him a Nokia phone? Nokia phone.
Don't tempt me with a good time.
Man, my back's hurt.
Yeah, mine is too, carrying all the good looks in this chat.
18 people, 39 thumbs up.
Dang, we ain't even gonna hit 40.
Nope, we will not. Let's see. BTO says, rub that belly. Woo! Olivia says, Bakugan.
Byakugan. Oh, no. Bakugan. No, I
Maria
had little
said-
figurines of it, but I never played.
Randy said, Maria said, Randy, that was your favorite game as a kid?
Pokemon, yes. Growing up, it's always been Pokemon and Call of Duty and Halo. But I have played the most Pokemon of any game that I've ever owned.
Olivia said, what did he say? Whoever said, you got a beer belly. I don't know why, because I don't drink beer, never have.
I can give you a hint.
John Deere said, rub that belly for good luck. Madison said, hi. Hello, Madison. Again. Well, we on 40. One more make us 40. Let's see. Olivia said, who hasn't played the most Pokemon?
Who has or has not?
She says hasn't. John Deere said, what up, Madison? Me, I don't play it. Maria said, to Madison, you changed your pick.
You know, it's kind of hard to play more Pokemon than me whenever I'm older than you. Respect your elders.
All right. So how do I do that, Randy? Madison said it was my other account. Lotus says, I have played 0 Pokemon. I'm with Lotus.
Damn,
Maria-
Lotus, I thought of all people that would be an adult.
Maria
child.
said he has the glasses case for good luck. Madison said, hey, John Deere. Olivia said, oh. Maria said, oh my God, Madison, you have a twin.
Go to the files.
Another,
No. Where like you have all the video stuff
I don't know where this at here.
on the bottom. For what, the outro song?
Yeah.
Go to the files.
Clip. Wait a minute. I got
No,
this.
all the way to the bottom. The manila envelope.
All right.
And go to desktop.
And say,
And it says thanks.
all right, let's see.
It's hard to get good help anymore.
Let's see. How do I go back? Make it small?
Yeah.
And then go back to the live. All right, let's see. Carlo said, hey, Madison. Madison said, hey, Carlo. Maria said, I never liked Pokemon. Box fan said, what's up? What's up, gang, wanna bang, bang?
Because I have socks on.
Jane said she had her socks on. She'll go. Jane said, get up and dance, R3.
Pass.
We'll do that here in just a minute. Whoever said your son looks like a Lorax.
I'm the opposite of the Lorax.
Madison said, LOL, ironic.
Mm-hmm.
John Deere said, bye-bye, good night, everyone.
See you, John Deere.
Tyson said, how is y'all's day going? It was a good day. I'm tired. Livy says, I have played Gen 1, 2, 3, 6, 7. Then the remarks for Gen 1, then Pokemon go. Then I played Pokemon Pinball. I've watched a lot of the animes as well.
The only
Maria says, no, don't dance.
only generation of Pokemon I didn't play was Black and White 2. Every single one of them I played.
Somebody give us one more like, please. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
You didn't even get a camera down. Shame on you.